hapa kwanza. All right, cool. How are you doing? I hope you guys and ladies, everybody's having a good time here after Sam Gituku and the panel had a heated discussion about oversight. And such discussions, there should also be oversight in relationships, which is part of what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about, well, so many things have been going down online. And there's this father who I believe is very dangerous, because if you're confronted and you're quiet, umekaa tu hivi tu. Watu wanasema, Dad, what are you doing? Of course, they're not using the words I'm using. It's a bit stronger. If you saw it, I think it is a Ugandan couple based in UK, right? Or one of the countries. They're not based in US or UK.
Wako to Africa.
Yeah, wako Africa.
Clearly.
And this daughter stumbled upon evidence that the dad is cheating in forms of messages. And now they were reading the texts to the dad and watching his reaction. And he was sitting there with his Bluetooth, eating his whatever he was eating. Yeah, chaya fork. Hamri. Akipress up hivyo. So today we want to talk about, it brings to the fore so many things. In African societies, people say that utajua msee, unfortunately, akikufa. For those who are not open about it. Akikufa, all of a sudden you hear this other family that comes in with children who you cannot deny. Yani, ni kama amepitishwa hivi kwa photocopy. Anafanana na yeye.
Kama wako.
Kama wako tu. Kama wako. Yeah. So, let me borrow a word from Sam's interview. It behooves us to talk about some of these issues. We're actually calling it checkmate. Thank you, CJ. Because you might think that wewe ni pwagu kama Charlie, but pwagu apata pwaguzi. I'm going to show you some stats in just a short while. But first, let's introduce the panel. Roberta Bobby.
Wagwan.
Uko sawa?
Because very happy. I'm just happy.
Are you happy about the topic or happy about
I'm always
life
happy
in general?
to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
Hata kama tumechila tuongeleshani inakwanga the best time.
No, sisi night tunaongeleshana.
Of course hatuzi nyamaza with you guys.
Yes.
Maybe me na CJ. How are you guys? How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
We are missing Shazmin. In fact, we want to say, Shaz, Skiza, we understand that you have obligations. We understand that where you are is a place you are even before you met us. However, please look kindly on us.
Please, Shazmin.
And make your way back to the panel. But it's all good. CJ, how are you?
Good.
You okay?
Good, yes.
Are you happy the World Cup is here? You can breathe kidogo?
Well, yeah, get some distraction as well. But if you've noticed, we slowly will get back. We slowly will get back. We might not get to the top, but yeah, Champions League, yes.
You sound like Martin Luther King. We might not get there in 1 day or 2 days.
That's how dreamers talk.
But we will get there.
That's how dreamers talk.
He has a dream.
He has a dream, definitely. Well, at least that's good. I don't know if you face, this is totally later, but I just thought about it. I'll ask you, do you face the same problem that people in America face during Super Bowl, now that some of the games will be on Sunday?
Oh, well.
Okay, I'm not feeling well.
Well, you know.
Umeharakisha Samu.
Namo sasa unarelate vitu na football.
Watu wakwe in that mode.
Right. Shut up.
Wagwan.
Ukwaje?
Niko best.
Congratulations on Reggae Saturdays.
Yeah, man. Panari Hotel. Yes. Amazing, beautiful reggae music. Mmekaribishwa pasi, we play beautiful reggae. We have a session of gospel reggae music. Alright?
Ni saa ngapi? Ni ile ya kufukuza watu ya 4 a.m. Like you've been here too long.
Sasa inabidi hapana
Alafu shata nasema gang.
Willis, you know we did this on the WhatsApp group at some point.
Yes.
And you know that Shatta knows that when it comes to that area, I am his elder. He knows.
From the culture.
History and everything.
Yes.
I am his elder in that matter.
Pia kuna baesa fulani wali invite priest akaenda kuibariki, uliona?
They clarified and said he was doing it for the mall. It just happened that the establishment.
Hakuna shida, mimi naita sije kwa yeye tu hapo. Hautaninyima kuta sije.
Okay.
Sawa. Tuko na reggae. Ni wapi, ni hapa ama ni huku? Ni hapa.
Pale hivyo.
All right. Tuko na reggae. Hapa Ibra tuko na reggae Panari Hotel each and every Saturday.
Very good.
Okay, the Reggae Brothers. Kuanzia 6 jioni kuja Panari Hotel second floor. Alafu unakula reggae yako safi, unaenda nyumbani ukiwa na feel blessed.
Leo tumeanza WAP. Okay, so Rebecca CJ has a church and 10 books.
Yes.
And leadership what do you call it? Leadership School of Leadership. School of Leadership. Yeah. You can also join. All right, so today, like I said, we're talking about relationships in terms of what we're calling checkmate. How do you if you find out your partner is cheating, do you expose them? How do you expose them? Number one, Shata alisema ya kwamba, in fact tunaanza na wewe.
Please.
Tunaanza na
I plead the
Tuanze na pasi.
What do you mean please?
Bobby.
Tuanze na pasi.
Okay, let's start with the stats here.
Let's start with Willis.
Let's start with me. These are the stats that I found, and this is why I said Pwagu akapata Pwaguzi. Take a look at what an Infotrack study found that may kind of flip the conversation a little bit, despite of what we are used to. Let's see. Do we have it, kit heaters? Pole sina ile earpiece. Pole ranjos. Iko. Tuende hapo kwanza ama tutulie? Anybody Mikey? Anasemaje? Oh, niendelee tu. All right, anyway, so niendelee na hiyo ama niendelee out? Hey, nyenta tutafuta earpiece. Things I think hata nimelogiwa probably.
Said they logged you right about now.
Okay, let's talk about that one where these people found out, the daughters found out, and they went to expose
the dad.
Over maybe 4 o'clock tea, like Roberta said. They exposed the dad in front of the party. Was that the right approach? Let's begin there.
No. First of all, he's snooping around your father's phone. And now you find out, first of all, Rebecca, chill out. That's your mom.
Oh
right there.
Yes.
That's your other mom. You know, you don't have the right to come shouting at your dad. At you know, Dad, what is this you're doing to mom? Who told you mom does not know? Mom was very, by the way, if you watch that video, mom was very silent. She didn't say anything.
Yeah, there's a time she was talking about, is this the daughter or somebody that you did not want me to meet or something?
Yeah. But, anyway, that said, iko hivi, kama my belief is, if a man is getting caught, he wants to be caught. That's it.
Isn't it? But they don't say that for women?
No. You see, they flip it. So I am a man. Now, if they don't know, let me tell them. In case you don't know.
Oh, my God.
If a man is getting emotionally attached to another woman out there, you know, kuna hizo unaita hit and run. Hizo hutawahi patikana. But ile umepatikana ni mtu umeanza kuishi na yeye. Like clearly this is a person now that you are emotionally involved with. You get, and the moment you're getting caught, you avoid the options and you say, you know what, it's fine. You get me, no problem. It's because his emotional needs are being met somewhere else. And when those emotions take over, you know, people tell us, you get in touch with your emotions, you men. You don't want to be emotional. You look like robots. And I'm not calling Haaland, but you still look like robots. But the moment we get in touch with those emotions, they do not want to be accountable to those emotions. So what you do is that you go out there and you get someone else that takes care of your emotional needs. Unaona? So that person anakuwa na very heavy weight on you that you don't mind if your family finds out. You know, get? So like that mzae probably alikuwa anasikiliza watu wakiongea like, what are you doing this to mom? And he's like, okay, malizeni kuongea. Actually nikitoka bana naenda kwa dem 10. Because what I get there, I don't get here. And that is the reality that people don't know.
So it's definitely they say for example, kama alipata kwa simu anasemanga usiangalia simu ya mzee. I don't like being called a mzee, but yeah, usiangalia simu ya significant other because you will find what you're looking for. So when it comes to family secrets, should we, for lack of a better word, should we bad box? Because there are people, even in our families, where you know that Uncle so-and-so has 3 wives, or ulenda nakwanga mshiwa, it's like our other mother, or this is our sibling. You know, even when they're being introduced, so I have 5 children, nani, and so and so. But you know, this guy, it doesn't look like the rest of the people. But we are just, you know, bad box. So when it comes to secrets, should we be quiet? Should we just let it play out? What do you think?
I think my honest opinion is that it's very cowardly to be dishonest. Because I'd like to think that by the time you're marrying someone, unajua married si game, as in tumekatiana, tukadate, tukaongea, it's been maybe months and years and we've built a friendship. What's so difficult about having these conversations? I mean, I've been on the other side where having these conversations was very, very difficult. But I'm just trying to assume that by the time you're marrying someone, there has to be some respect or some level of kuheshimiana yenye mnaweza tu discuss vitu. So, I don't know. I'm not going to dispute what Shatta said because maybe he's being honest as a man and I'm here to learn. Ndio pia mimi nikiona signs niko na Shatta alishanichanua. I'm not going to dispute it because but I think it's, I don't know, your heartbreak ya mse find out in another way or how they just become so distraught. I don't like having to hear people go through that. It's unfortunate that the people who love you are the ones who are going to hurt you. But there's something I read in a book called The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Darkoa. So something she said, it's stories about different women, stories by and about different women, about their lives, their sexual lives and things like that. And there's a chapter where this lady talks about polygamy and polyamory and how she's trying to discover herself and she's learning that you don't really own anyone and you people can just talk about things and you can have these discussions. Reading the chapter was very difficult for me because I'm a very possessive lover. So it was like, what? What? Mimi mse wa monogamy, how are we ever going to get to that point? But I think it's because I've grown up in a situation where nimezoea love ni ya watu wawili na unaweza tu penda mtu mmoja peke yake huwezi. But in that book I learned that one person can't give you all the needs that you have. So you have to be aware of that and you have to be able to talk about such things so that if it reaches a point where maybe you change your mind on monogamy or you start to like someone else, these things are supposed to be very normal. They're supposed to be conversations that we're able to have. To avoid, mse akidedi ndo wase wanakuja sijui kwa funeral ama wase wanatokea mnataka
stop the funeral until
court
case etc.
I think it's even healthier and better when you're open with these things so that you're able to raise your kids in a healthier environment. Wase wanajuana, wase ni friends, wase hakuna yo animosity na enmity. I mean, I know it's difficult, but why not sisi tu saizi tuanze kuhave hizo conversations so that there's no sneaking, there's no... Also, but I don't support how they aired their dad out. I mean, it's not something I would advocate for. It's something I can say, maybe I understand in the heat of the moment, of the anger. But I don't think it's something you do to someone else. You can have these conversations in other ways. So that even him, for whatever reasons he did whatever he did, maybe he can justify it with, sunona venye mnani treat. So ningewaambiaje? Hamni allow ni kwa emotional in this space. I'm not able to communicate. He was just quiet the whole time.
In fact, what changed, if you listen to the audio of it, in the beginning, the daughter's like, Dad, Dad, Dad. Then towards the end, she starts kind of sobbing. She's like, Dad, 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 like towards the end.
Yeah.
And I'm also imagining, CJ, so here's somebody who, first of all, if he looks up, there are two phones probably trained at him already. So he's wondering, okay, what's going on? Then huyu mwingine amekaa hapo, amejitandaza anasoma message. And the man
Zungu yenye nimekulipia ukaenda shule kusomea. Kuja kunisomea nayo.
It's a little bit of an accent over there. It's a little bit. And then I almost went on. And then they exposed him in that way. So, okay, but before we get to the manner of which they did it, there's something that Shatta said, I almost said Sata. Shatta said, CJ, how is somebody pushed to the level where, you know what, I'm okay if you find out. Niko sawa. You find out, kaende.
Well, sometimes they're not really okay finding out. You know, what Shatta talked about, there's also the element of men really do not know how to keep secrets. This is a huge thing because you will see the commitment. You will see the commitment becoming lower somewhere else. But that is true even for ladies as well. You'll know when a girl is out. You'll see that the commitment is lower. This is just how we are wired, that I might still be there, but the conversations are less, the commitment is less, the dates are less, The outings are less. You talk about where you want to go. Probably you want to go somewhere else. And I'm like, it's fine. You just go. We'll meet later. The person is no longer trying to be in your space a lot. They may have created either their own space or they have found another space else. By the time that this person is being found, then they have really weighed. They've really weighed whether this is a risk that is worth being taken. And so in that case, yes, they may want to be found, but they don't know how to talk about it. It's just that they've weighed the risks and they have felt that this is an investment that is worth keeping, but they also don't want to lose the other one. Sometimes, you know, somebody feels like, I'm not trying to do an and, or rather, I'm not trying to do an or, I want and. It's not Roberta or so-and-so. I like certain attributes in Roberta, I like certain attributes in the other person, so I want the both of them to be together, but I cannot begin the conversation. Why? Because not many of us were built to have the conversations that Roberta is saying we should have. And even when you start those conversations, the repercussions most of the time are crazy. So here's a man who probably has built his life, he loves his daughters, but he wants something else elsewhere, and he doesn't want to lose this family. He has those family values. He has the desire to keep that family, but then he's beginning to think of himself. The only thing that would make him go out at that particular point is now himself. He's thinking of himself, but he also wants to keep the family because he's thinking of the other people. The family becomes the place where he sacrifices himself. The other place becomes the place where he satisfies himself.
Can you have both in one?
You can, but now it depends on how somebody is. You know, when you talk about, for example, that no one person can meet all your needs, it's true. But again, even if you have everybody, not all your needs will be met.
Yeah.
No matter how many people you have, there'll always be a certain longing. So you'll see the next person and they have something that you desire and admire, and then you have the next person. At some point you have to say, look, okay, this is going to be enough. You know? Even when the buffet...
At some point,
you know,
okay.
All right.
no matter how much the table is set at the buffet, you got to pick what you know. I can handle this. And sometimes what you're looking at is something that you like, but then you may tell yourself, okay, now I'm not doing red meat. It's not even that you don't want it, but you know it's not good for you. So there's a place of discipline in the whole of this. I tell you, you will always meet amazing people. You'll always find things that are in people that you wish were in the person you are with. You'll find somebody else is absolutely conversational. Another one is somebody who is very sentimental. There's another one who is very, very entrepreneurial. So you'll see all these things in everybody, and if you're not careful, you'll just get stuck because you're trying to go everywhere. So I think by the time this man is found, he has actually seen that for himself, this is something that he wanted to do, but he did not know how to bring it out. About him keeping quiet, there are times when, see, if you know that somebody's trying to use what you're going to say against you, you'd rather just keep quiet. The thing about men as well is that when you embarrass a man, you actually empower what he was doing. Because now he develops this attitude of, okay, so whatever I feared has already happened.
Yeah.
So now let me just do it.
It's justified, sir.
You said something there that is it stood out for me. So you said there's a point when this guy, after he's taking care of, and Shatta, you've said this before, I think, on the show, he's taking care of the daughters and the wife, and now he's found himself. Yeah. So what stops somebody from finding themselves? I know you're an advocate of marry when you're 50.
40, but I agree also. It's still fine. The higher we go, the better.
So why can't somebody find themselves mapema so that you avoid kujitafuta na ujipata ukiwa why can't you start when you have daughter 2? Yes.
First of all, okay, kuna hiyo kitabu Roberta amesema, I'd advocate for everyone to read that book. It's very nice. I have read it. It challenges you. You question yourself.
Yeah.
And can I be comfortable with these things?
Yeah.
Then at the end of it all, you realize actually this is reality.
Yeah.
These are true stories of people that have lived actually in this Africa. So from there unaanza kuaccept vitu zingine tu zenye unajua kwa roho yako sijazoea hivi lakini unabidi umeaccept zina exist. That's a very nice book, I read it. Sasa nataka kwanza nianze na swali. Why is it that msee akidedi bibi yake pekee ndo anakwaga juu msee ako na watu wengine? Bibi yake na watu wake. Every other person knows. Your friends know, your relatives know, your enemies know. It's just the wife and the children that get surprised on the body.
Even that girl's family normally know.
Unaona ni wewe tu.
That's right.
Ni watoto na
because even
na bibi.
The other side pia.
Yes, wanajua. Like huo dem watu wao wanakujua, wanajua mko na watu hii, wanajua uko na watu hii, wanajua uko na wife. So ni mama na watu hii pekee wanakuaga surprised. Have you ever asked yourself why? It is because you do not have that is the only place where you don't have a safe space to talk about it in your house.
But you fear the repercussions.
Look, yes, that is the point. The fear of the repercussions removes the safe space. You get? You won't even start talking and asking, why did he go start another family without informing me or us? It's because that which he wanted kupata kwa familia hapo wana get. And it brings me to your question now, that why do you find yourself later on in life? It's because I keep saying this, society has never allowed a man to find himself. You work, you are born, you are taught, you're taken to school. If you're lucky, you go to the university. If you're lucky. Sawa. After university, you get a job, you're told to get married. Actually, you're not even told. You start marrying in university. Tafuta kadem kwa hostel na amua sasa kulia. Okay? Nakachikufugiaga na wewe unaenda kuhaso logo nje una satisfy, unaleta pesa ya hii until anko mkubwa ako na V8 akuje kama ako na BMW akuje.
Nimekuona hapo.
Akuje and you realize you are a primary consumer. There is a tertiary.
There are levels to this.
There is a tertiary consumer.
Self-actualization.
Trying to find yourself.
Yes.
Get? So unafiligini wewe, but hivyo ndo umekonditioniwa. Ugrow ukifeel unafaa kuwa na mtu, unafaa kuanzisha familia. Sasa the moment that how to you may grow, get, maybe umewasomesha, mmezeeka sana ndo mko hiyo 50 years ama mko 60, ndo sasa unaanza kurealize actually now you have time. Ulipi school fees. Sasa you have time to think. Unaona unaanza kurealize by the way, I think mimi napenda hii kitu. Unaona, so unaanza kujifind ukiwa very old, because that is when you get time to think about you. But in your growing up, you had time to think about other people. Get, you might want to live. Kama sahi, you have a young family, say you have a kid that is say 8 years, 9 years, ako 5 years. Na una feel this marriage is clearly not meant for me. Unaona, as a man. But una feel nikiondoka hii marriage, mtoto wangu ako 5 years, ataumia. Unaona, you sacrifice for that kid. I know a lot of men that have done that. That you know this marriage is not good for you, but you say, let me do it for the child. And you stay, which is a bad thing.
So as you stay, are you stay, looking for something else somewhere, or you're just staying, wacha tu tuumie?
Unajua by them pia mtu ana look for something else pale kando, ni mtu ako na uwezo. Okay. Unaona ni mtu ako na uwezo. Na the moment you choose kukaa for mtoi, you start overlooking things that are being done to you. Una ignore, unaona kuja kwa hao, unatreatiwa vibaya. Well, as long as mtoi ananismailia nikiingia, you find a substitute in the children. You get, kama wanakam, umekam jioni mwaona wamelala vizuri, ukapoa unaamka hiyo madharau yote unaindiwa nini juu ushaji program. You know, the most powerful tool in this world is the human brain. You know, ndio maana mimi naambiaga wase usiwahi kubali mtu control brain yako. And your brains are controlled through your emotions. You get, the moment you let someone dictate your emotions, like if they want you happy, you're happy. If they want you mad, you're mad. They control your brain. Because hata ukiangalia in colonization, that is what the Europeans did. They colonized the brain, not the physical being. Because if it was physicality, you are more physical than them. But they colonized the most powerful tool in your body, which is your brain. Unaona? So right now, if you condition your brain and tell it, imagine hizi tunafanywa ni sawa tu. Wacha nikapa juu mtoi. Juu ile siko hapa mtoi ataumia. you stay there. Most men do that. When the child is grown now they realize I have nothing else to accept these things for. The real you starts coming out. Una realize, oh, mi silipi school fees anymore. Mtu yeye amegrow hata ameishia. Una get? Alafu ndo unasiaga mtu yeye anakuambia, dad, I wish you didn't stay. We could see what you are going through.
Right.
Even if you walked, it would have been okay.
When they get older, or the children themselves wanakuita mkutano.
Yeah, wanakuambia sasa dad hapa.
We know you're suffering. Which step?
Even at the mom also. This conversation is two-way.
Right. Yeah.
There are women that stay for the children. That anajua kirudi kwao nyumbani na watu hii hata shughulikiwa, ataonekana outcast, atabrandishwa all bad names. So she decides to endure whatever it is that she's enduring in that man's house for these children until these children get to an age and they leave.
All right.
Unaget?
Yeah.
So ni unapewaga mzigo. That is what makes you find yourself later on. Unapewaga mzigo, unaisukuma 18 years ama 20 years. Then sasa ile umemalizana nayo, ndio unaanza kurealize, okay, sasa nimemalizana nayo, let me go back to myself.
People remind me, I want to ask you a question. The key word is balance. Munikumbushe. But let's get the question of the day. Let's get the question of the day first. This is what we're asking. Then I show you these statistics why I'm telling you Pwagu kapata Pwaguzi. So when I ask this question, even when I ask this question, should you disclose to your partner that you have a secret family? This is the question of the day. SMS 22422. If you want to be anonymous, ndio pia nilikuona pale kwa TV nasema ukae na siri, uko na secret family. So if you don't want us to know your name or where you're watching from, you can just send us an SMS on 22422. But I do want to issue this disclaimer that if you do use your actual Twitter handle and use the hashtag Daybreak and we see it, we'll use it here. So if you want to be discreet, ni sawa. Tumia 22422. No name or nothing. But if you're feeling bold enough, you can go ahead and use the hashtag and speak your truth. And even if you're bold enough that you're under a pseudonym, and so long as it's not Elon Musk, then it shall be okay, all right? So here are some interesting statistics. Because even when I asked that question, admit it, you're thinking about men. But look at these stats right now. So this is an infrastructure research that was done, courtesy of Standard Digital. They did it for the Nairobian. And it says 50% of married women have clandestine partners. In fact, 73% of respondents interviewed revealed that they know at least one adulterous married woman. So it's now Fidigi Hacha. Let's go to the next one. So that I know you might be shopping. Women from Western Kenya are the most unfaithful. And then married women in Nyanza come second with 84.8%. I don't know what the figure was up there. I'll have to look at it more.
Was it 100? This is 84 at number 2.
It might have been 100. Nairobi came third with a score of 76.5%. Is there another one?
Ngori.
Yes? Yeah, but those are some of the figures of this. And this was done 2 years ago. So you can imagine what it looks like, what it looks like now. And so there it is up there. So it is happening. And it goes on to say, I think in our Western, Northeastern, zingine pia ziko hapo, it goes on like that, like that, like that, like that. So Roberta, this kind of flips the conversation. Because again, like I said, when I ask that question, most people are thinking, wanaume ndo huwa wako na secret families. But it could be pia Fidigal child.
Fidigal child ana secret family.
Anaweza kuwa na
secret guy.
Akona secret power.
The secret is within the house.
Iko hapo mtaani.
The secret is right there.
Secret inakuwa hapo.
The father you're
raising the secret.
Right there with you.
You're raising the secret.
Yes.
Is that worse?
Yeah.
That is actually worse. Mtu tu umepata kibo. Alafu chill.
Yeah man.
And then you make sure unataimu jamaa sisi.
Yeah, man.
Us men, nobody no be wood. You go ahead and do the thing. Sasa naambia, congratulations baby.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, oh my.
Anyway,
unaanza kuambia mtu anafanana na great grandfather.
My grandfather aliniambia mtoto akizaliwa hivi weka kwa nini peleka. Saying I did it.
You know, some of those.
Lakini wako on your face. So I don't.
You cannot hide your mind. You are taken to the heavenly photocopy.
Yes.
When this man was praying,
Papang.
touch the screen. Anyway.
But you know.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, some of those things, again, have to do with elements of the economic status of people in some of those places. Maybe not in the cities, maybe in the cities, but...
Because Nairobi was third.
Yeah, but you will find sometimes these people have somebody that they have in their life, but then that person does not have the capacity to take care of them or the children. So this woman will stay in a particular marriage with a man that she probably does not prefer because she's looking for security. But then now she has a child with somebody else and she feels this person can't take care of the child. So for the sake of the child, she stays in a different marriage so that this man will raise this child as his own. There are a lot of those arrangements, those coalitions. There are those. And sometimes they're caught up in it. So you find this lady probably is at the place where she's realized she's pregnant. The person that she's pregnant with, does not have the capacity to take care of her. And then she knows that she can't go back home. And this was very rampant before, in the days when pregnancy was taboo. You know, nowadays you'll do all the photos, the baby bumps and whatever. Those days, you were single, man, they'll kill you. So you can't go home. And that would force some women also then to find a man who will take them in. And he may not be the most romantic, but he's going to be a provider and stabilize because she was disenfranchised somehow. So that would be one of the reasons why people would find themselves with women who are in a secret place. But also the unmet needs, Willis. The unmet needs, where a woman is in a marriage, she's being taken care of financially, but probably not emotionally or sexually. Then she begins to get attracted to somebody who's doing that. Before they know it, it goes way beyond what they thought. She's pregnant. How is she going to explain this? She has to find a way of making the man feel like he's responsible. Something will be arranged around the same season just to try and put this. Because you see, when a man goes out and a lady gets pregnant, when he comes back home, there's no evidence. Unless somebody one time comes in and says, this is that, there's no evidence. But this woman has to live with this element of when she gets pregnant, you can't hide the pregnancy. So somewhere along the line, there are also circumstantial issues that have forced these women to get to the place where they've made men believe that those men were raising their own children. And you see, when Shatta was talking about the mind, so as long as you don't know that that's not your kid, do you realize that you're raising that kid? Yeah. So you just raise the kid. Now, in that particular situation then, should we bring out the secrets? No, because you'll damage this kid. You'll damage too much. When you look at the...
They don't deserve to know their real daddy somewhere?
No, Willis. Let them grow. Let them grow. Some of these things, you see, when a tree has deep roots, when you uproot it, you may bring down buildings around that place because you don't know how far the roots have gone. There are trees that you cut, you start by cutting the branches. They are too rooted for you to just come and say, we are plucking this tree.
I'm burning spear right now.
So you've got to look at the weight of what you want to do. Is there another way of doing this? Is there another way of dealing with what you want to deal with so that you don't have crazy repercussions, you know? But I wanted to bring perspective to something that Shatta was talking about, the thing of the men. I think most men, by the time you get to about 40 and 50, you have grown enough and accomplished enough. What makes men at that stage begin to look through the window is that if you have built yourself financially, you don't just have time, you actually have money. You have power. And they begin to feel that they deserve, they're entitled to having certain things in life just because they can afford them. They can afford going out, they can afford flying, they can afford a hotel, they can afford anything, so they begin to feel they deserve it. This is them saying sorry to their body. They've been working the whole time. And the aspect that comes in is that when we get into relationships and marriage, we come in as friends, become lovers, but at some point we lose the friend and we retain the lover. The lover will always be jealous. The lover will always be possessive and very protective. So when I come in and I'm telling Roberta that this is what is happening, there's this lady in the office that I saw and whatever, she forgets that she's also supposed to be my friend.
Yeah.
She reacts as a lover. she's seeing a threat. So what will happen is I will then look for a friend elsewhere, and I will keep the lover here. That's how people begin to lose that. And the element of conversations, they lose it because they lose the friend in their marriage and they find the friend elsewhere and they keep a lover here. So they're not leaving the lover either. But then they know on the other side, they have a friend. So what happens? That cycle again. The friend becomes another lover. Then when they become a lover as well, they kill the same friendship thing. So
It's a vicious.
Meaning we need to be aware about our, like, the friendships. We need to feed the friendship consistently. I don't know how you wanted to ask him about balance.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
But I brought you as an aspect of the balance.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But I want to ask, and even to you, Bobby, as well, and CJ, everybody, so is there a way that a man or a woman can balance being there, providing and everything, and giving themselves to the family, and creating time, space to also know what exactly they want? So that, so let's say, let's say if it comes earlier, maybe especially my good friends in tech, they can be 25, 26, and they have the money now. They have everything. I mean, you know, whatever way you come across, well, so long as it's legal, you come across money, so you have it. So how do you balance between, I still want to remain myself, but I still want to provide, I need to be there for the children, so that I'm not Uko 50 now saying, all right, I gotta find myself. I'll find myself in, what is the name, that 50 Cent song, Shisha, Monica, Brandy.
My simple reply to that, so that Roberta can weigh in on it, is communication. Communication, because your needs are changing.
Yes.
You are discovering yourself differently. Now, if we lose the friendship aspect, then I may not communicate the changing needs. So even the person I have is stuck at who I used to be before. They may be stuck at somebody who used to love being indoors, or somebody who just wanted to work, and they may not discover now you want to go out more often, you want to meet different people, you want to go golfing, you want to travel, you want to do that. Then they're like, but we've not been doing this. So they stay behind. And when they stay behind, you feel the urge to go out, meet new people, connect. That communication aspect, Willis, of people getting to know, where am I at now? What do I want now? What is it that I need now? That communication aspect is what actually kills the fire within most of the relationships. So somebody else they'll find somebody else, and they meet Shatta and they feel, Shatta understands me. He understands them at this stage. The other person understood them well, but they've not understood the growth that has happened.
So if Shatta met the previous you, probably would not understand.
He may not have understood. So the two must grow together. The other challenge, though, is that sometimes you may communicate to a partner who is unwilling to grow with you, who does not want to mutate. They're just like, but this is how we were. We were fine the way we were. And you're saying, look, life is not static. We are changing. We are growing. There are dreams that we had, the aspirations. There are new opportunities now. There are new things that we are discovering. There's new levels of knowledge and interactions. So if you also have a partner who is unwilling to change, it will become frustrating for you. Yeah.
Bobby, maybe you can weigh in before Shatta. I've had Shatta do.
Yeah, you had him. You had him. You had him right.
You know, everything that I learned in that book and everything you guys are saying, it's difficult to process, because it's like you're being forced to become someone else and to be always willing to learn and always willing to be better and do better and communicate better. And it's very difficult to do. But I think where you should start at is knowing yourself, so that it's not something that hits you later. I mean, growth is constant. It's the only thing that doesn't change. We have growth every other time. Change is constant. These are things that they find you at any time of your life as you continue growing. That's why I think, Basi, something that I'm learning from what CJ said is, I think we need to be a bit more intentional than with our friendships, with how we show up for people and how we show up around them.
This is friendships around or within the actual relationship? Like you,
I mean, even your partner, as well as even your other friends, even your relationship with your brother. I think we normally have this thing where as you grow, you know, you just start to feel like nobody else might understand you. Maybe you're the one who knows yourself best, and you fail to see how your changes and your growth affect the people that are the closest to you. Whether it's positive change, that you're becoming a better person, now you want to eat healthier. If it's something you don't discuss with your partner, they feel you're not involving me, we're not having these conversations. It's something as simple as a diet, but if you keep someone in the loop, if you guys create a space where you're able to have these conversations, and again, I keep saying, it's difficult, it's not easy. Wengi wetu sana tumelelewa in even abusive situations where even finding your voice ni kitu imetu take 30 years, 35 years, 50 years to be able to just say, yo, staki vanilla ice cream, nataka strawberry. Because umezoea tu vanilla na uliambiwa vanilla ndo yenye una like. Unaona? Right. So it's difficult. But take time with yourself, because once you're able to be comfortable within yourself and with yourself, it becomes easier for you to exist around other people. And these conversations become easy. I see even my little brother find it difficult to tell me the simplest things. Vitu kama leo sikuji home. And me, I'll stay home pissed off because where are you? Muggings ni crazy. Yeah. You're a black boy. Yeah. Anything can happen. Anything can happen to you. I need to know. Ye reasoning yake ni, I know naku air Chris, but reasoning yake ni.
You live in a white neighborhood. You're a black boy.
I mean, I'm just saying that because it's dangerous for black men. Yeah. Yeah. They never want to listen, especially if you have dreads and things like that. So it's crazy. These are real fears that I have. I see my mom have the same fears. So ye reasoning yake ni staki Bobby a jam. Bobby ata jam nikimwambia scam home na nilimwambia na come na nimeche. Na maybe side yake happy imebamba, vitu zinaendelea, wase wanaendelea. You know, na yeye akaona tu wacha nikae niende home kesho. So anaona akini text maybe in the jam ama na mi reasoning yangu ni suni text ndo nijue uko safe. Mi hata sijali whatever you're doing ama where you are. But if we create a relationship where he's just able to say, yo, whether ni jam or not, yeah, ako comfortable with himself, ako able kusema tu miskam, wewe venye utahandle shida yako, sawa. Ama hata kama ana care venye ndai handle. The way he communicates it to me, like, Bobby, this, nimsikize. My reaction has to also match his willingness to communication. Si ati nianze kumpounsia, nianze kujama manini. Both of us have to be able to be friends so that he feels safe to come to me and I feel safe to allow him to do whatever he wants to do. So it's a friendship thing. We have to be very intentional and deliberate and love ourselves and know ourselves so that we can exist as ourselves around the people that we love. We
have some SMS that we get to, but before that, Shatta, you can weigh in. And it seems to me then that just based on what you've said, even just the example, hi Chris, of your brother, is that then there is a problem of assumption. I assume, whether rightly from experience or just to shrouded mindset, that nikisema all hell will break loose.
First of all, Bobby, you're ready to be a wife. You are very ready to be a wife. Yeah.
Finally.
Wife thing.
Is that your proposal?
I love and direct. Red carpet. I should do that thing. Bring that thing. You message for you attitude text. That is every wife for you. But mwanaume on the other hand anafeel control. Hata wacha ati anafeel utajam. Mwanaume anafeel anakuwa controlled. Like, I left my mother's house to be free. Why should I keep updating you I am in every minute and my doing?
I'm just at home really worried about you.
You see, for the lady, anaiona hivyo. Like, you are assuring me I will not be worried about where you are. But on the other side, mwanaume anaiona kama control. Kwake I process hivyo that unajali. Yana I process control. Unaona? Back to what I wanted to weigh in on about communication. First, the biggest mistake that we do in this life is we go looking for validation in very many things. Unaona? And in communication, you should communicate with yourself first. And this is something I do. I have conversations with myself. I sit down and I talk to myself. You know? Because if I cannot communicate na mimi to come into a consensus. I keep telling myself that I am me, myself, and I. We are 3 people, and we communicate. So that whatever it is that we have agreed, nikieka pale nje, niko na conviction, sitaji second guess. Unaelewa? What we do here today, you say you strike a balance between the family and you. Unaona? But the family does not agree with you. Unaona, wana feel unawakandamiza. But wewe sasa juu communicate na wewe kwanza before communicate na mtu mwingine, unaanza kubelieve. Unaona, unaanza second guess that enyewe I'm not being fair. Unaona, I'm not being balanced. So you start leaning on what they want to tell you, what they are telling you to do. Unaget? But as long as wewe, yourself and yourself, in that I am talking about your spirit and your soul. So you know you're just. And whatever it is that you're doing is unafanya na roho safi. Hauna haukandamizi mtu. No one should second guess you. Na ukiifanya, whether they appreciate it or not, it's fine. You know? Because the moment you expect them to appreciate it and they don't appreciate it is when you start getting mad at them. Is when you start throwing tantrums at them. Is when you start ignoring them. Like, oh, nawafanyianga na musiki, sasa siwafanyi, mutati, you disappear on them. Why? Because you are looking for validation from these people. Unaget? Wewe, kama unajua you're being just in this balance you've struck and you've explained to them. Sawa? Give them time. One day they shall accept who you are. That guys, by the way, Willis Altuambia, he is polygamous. I'm just saying.
Yes.
He's not really.
For that clarification.
Natulikata. Okay, Shata Altuambia. The views of Wayne. You know, that mimi niliwaambia hivi na mmekata.
Right.
One day, wataka chini waseme enyewe even if we were mad at this guy.
He told us.
He told us. And he stayed
honest.
true to his word. Unaelewa? But stop looking for validation. Stop looking for gratitude from people. Learn from other people's mistakes and lives. You know, this life is a lesson every day. You are taught something. Unapigwa character development, haulan. Unafunzwa hii haulan. Learn. Every day, everything you see around you is an opportunity to learn and better yourself. Sawa?
All right.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, let's take a look at some feedback here. What you are saying about this. Remember, the question we ask you is, utaambia mtu wako kwamba kuna a secret family, right? Let's go to the feedback, see what people are saying. And this is some SMSs. You chose the SMS way, but at least John from Nongai says, I'm in a relationship where my partner doesn't seem to take seriously our disagreements. I have learned to seek solace elsewhere. We would be interested to know what kind of solace. Is it now somebody you talk to or what? Please, Shatta, give me the name and author of that book you mentioned. You can say it again, you and Roberto.
Bobe said.
The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Darkoa.
Nana Darkoa. All right.
Yeah.
The Sex Lives of African Women. You cannot miss
It's a really good book.
It's a really good book. Yes, it's good to disclose if you need respect served. Show disrespect. Okay. All right. All right. For me, I prefer to be told by my husband himself than mimi mwenyewe ni find out kuwa ako na familia ingine. Ile to give me the respect and the decency.
Tukwe tu mabeshte.
Tukwe tu unisho tu. All right, next. Brayo, and I say, my truth be told, there are very many of us staying in these marriages because of the kids. I am one of them. It's good that you use the name like Brian, because Brian
Or
Wing.
Kev.
I encourage you after this to look for CJ. And talk about it more. It shouldn't be like that. Val from Kisumu, I think if you try that, the whole house will be on fire. Like CJ said, the roots, how deep it is. Uko ndani, unaweza funganisha kila kitu. Then unatoa tu katri hapa, umeangusha kilimani mzima. All right. You didn't leave a name. This issue of the second family is all over. 99% of my friends have 2 families, including me. I was just about to say. I was just about to say, yeah.
Are you?
Your friends, yeah, you are a reflection of your friends. And
That's a
our
very
wives,
clever way for justification.
I know, right? It says our wives know nothing about it, but the rest of the family knows. And this is what we talked about here. However, I must say, we had Dr. Gikonyo here, and one of the things I took away from him, he said, because he was talking about a different topic, which is smoking, he said, there are people who say that, jamaa alikuwa na smoke, lakini alikuwa amefikisha 90. They are few and far between. Usitumie huo example moja.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu yeye alifika 90. And if he was not smoking, maybe he would have been at 110. But anyway.
We are 99% of his friends. He's using his own.
Which means his own. Which means
well, that's why I say it's justification.
Yeah. Right. If there are 10 friends, 9.
He wanted to say he is.
This is actually 100% of men out here.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how
the wives don't know.
Yes.
But the rest of the family knows, and plus the friends know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Keeping the secrets. Secret families, as you call them, are not secret because everyone knows apart from your spouse and children. Whether you reveal or not, somehow it will come to be known, and sometimes too late. In your funeral, men, stop that and be open. The truth always sets you free. You lie and you live your whole life a lie. That is, for me, if I was to have a secret family, the only thing that mimi spendangi ni yo kuishi kufanya hivi.
Hiyo fear.
Yani kama you are man enough kudungilia na iko na fruits, endelea nayo.
Mwende mwasema ukiwa mwanahabari.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just me. And by the way, also for those, anyway, okay. I'm a married woman, a mother of 2, but I have a lover for almost 4 years. This lover recognizes me more than my husband. He loves me more and more. His friends know we are lovers. He respects me more than my other person. I know more things about him than his own wife. So wait, okay, this is how. Okay, that his wife's business-wise. Like you're saying, CJ, the entrepreneur, my very own husband pushed me to do it. The children are of my lover, but they look like my husband. I think it's not good to expose the family because he knows they are his. Sasa kama huyu, his is...
Huyu amechange matrix.
Huyu ni deep. He's changed the whole
conversation. Okay, umeambia Brian aone CJ. Huyu aone nani?
Aone CJ pia. CJ is almost there 18, 19 plus years to help us in this situation. Because this is interesting. We're not going to say it's crazy because it's their reality. And we're proud of you for talking about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can reach out.
Amazing. Umepatia watu wengine sauti. Kuna wengine si peke yake.
Yes. Hopefully you can reach out and get some help. Because it's interesting.
What helps?
Hata ana need help, yako sawa.
Yako sawa. Okay, but just talk to CJ. I told my current better half of all the kids I have outside, including the one I have with a famous musician.
What?
And she's okay with it. So to me, that is normal. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Communication.
Ako okay kweli mata
See, me communicate.
Is that the last one?
But why do you want to second guess the one who...
No, I'm just...
Well, if they are okay, they are okay.
So these things are apparently happening, but anyway, I don't know.
But you have to save space.
Yeah, keep talking to us, but then you can jump onto the DMs. You can jump onto CJ's, Roberta, Shata, Shazmin, myself. If you feel you want to talk about it, we might not have the answers, but at least Mimi, I'll point you to CJ. So either way, Hess's law. No matter the route you get, no matter the route you choose, the end is the same. So you can either go to him directly or come to me. I'll take you. But I'll offer a few words that I know. Yeah. But the thing about it is for example, CJ, so if you analyze, and as we wrap up, and you see that, okay, Sema, for example, using that one where you have 3 children, number 4, ni Siwa, the guy. And they're probably, let's say we have a situation where they're now 10, 12, 13 years old. So this young man or lady, the child, are you not robbing them of knowing who their actual father is, or even the father for that matter? No matter the situation. Like, do you wait for them to get to 18, maybe then, and tell them? And if you tell them at 18, will they say, all right, mama, so what else is a lie? Yeah. So how do you do balance?
You know, before you dig into certain those kind of things, you have to, I'll come back to the issue of, you have to weigh what the impact will be.
Right.
And whether that's the kind of impact that you want. At 13, if you tell this kid, at 13, well, I'm trying to trace the CBC thing, but at 13, probably somebody would be getting close to sitting their exams in primary school. They're getting into teenage. They get to discover themselves. And then you throw something like this. Just their own identity is a problem. And it's going to be for another 6 years to 7. Right. Then you throw something like this at them. Are you helping this child? I do not think so. psychologically you throw them off balance completely because they need to deal with puberty, and then now they need to deal with the fact that this is not even their dad, and the anxiety that comes in wanting to know, so who is their dad? So what happens if that dad is not responsible or rejects them or he's not responsive to them? How do they begin to build a relationship at that particular point? So there are a lot of factors that you also have to look at then. Some things are not really secrets. Some things are just an element of timing, that if you do it at a particular time, the damage will be irreversible. You wait until such a time as the people are prepared to handle that truth. If you tell this kid at 21 that this was not really your father something, they'll blow up, but they're adults at that particular point. They're not really at the place where they're dependents. And even if their father then is not responsive to them, they begin to chart their own path. They begin to develop their own way. But at 10, 11, 12, I think that will be too much, unless there's been a lot of counseling. But you have to weigh the situation. You have to do feasibility study before you bring in,
Right. So, why tell them? Wachana na yeye.
Yes.
Ile mbaya ni wewe kama mzazi unafikaga point unaweza kujiambia at the day I tell this child the truth, they will leave me.
Right.
At they will watathrow arms wanitoke. Shauri yako. You will live with it then.
Okay.
But because I let the child be the child.
Right. Well, this looks like another topic that we should do.
But I think we've talked about it.
But anyway, hapo ndo shida yako. In the words of Ivy Namu, hiyo knowledge itamsaidia na nini?
Fire. Pick up on yourself.
Anyway, at the end of the day, I guess if you're in a situation where you feel you're not being yourself, it might be looking like things are okay, but you're not yourself in it, then I do advise that you seek help. But if you're comfortable, if things are fine, if you think, I mean, Constitution when unaandika ikikuja kwa maisha yako, you're the CEO of yourself. As Chata said, me, myself, and I. When mdosi wa watu. Sasa me, myself, and I, unalinganisha na Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, unaendelea inakuwa sawa. But if you do need help, just don't hesitate to reach out. Even if you feel you've lived a life for a long time, talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But if you are okay, my friends, maisha ni yako, sasa tukafanya nini? Na wewe uko sawa. Si ndio? All right? We'll see you again here tomorrow. Remember, you can follow at Shatterboy, Shatter Tikitaka on Twitter, Shatter_boy on Instagram as well. Listen to him on Wax Tikitaka from 10 to 1 weekdays with Ann QT. You can follow Roberta Bobby on all platforms, and also follow www.loveandorgasms.com, and also listen to the podcast. You can follow CJ Atemo on @CJ Atemo, and also read his 10 books. The 11th book you got to
title.
They're waiting. Yes, the 11th book is on the way. No pressure. And also you can ask him about his School of Leadership, and on Sunday pia enda kanisa itakuwa aital tena sana. And also at Shazmin Bank in absentia, and also listen to her podcast as well, and follow me at Willis Raburu. Mungu awabariki sana. Successful people look like you
and us anon,
and have the voice of Ronaldo and speak truth to power. Peace and love.